I finally had the opportunity. 1979 Datsun 280ZX, 77,000 miles. It's been abandoned in this garage for about 10 years without running. Here today with my brother Jared. Let's see if we can get it started and running. So if this garage looks familiar, it's because we've been here before. If you've watched my channel for a while, or if you haven't, this is the same garage that I was able to buy the 1971 El Camino out of and that 2001 BMW 325xi for 300 bucks. That hadn't been running in a long time. I tried to buy this car at the same time, but the owner wanted to keep it. I completely understand. And he's selling this property, and he finally said, you know what, I'm willing to part with it. So in true James fashion, not only did I buy the car, I actually bought the whole garage. So I bought the entire contents of his garage, including the Datsun, including a Harley that was back here. And here we are today to get the Datsun up and running. Now before we get started on the Datsun, forgive me if I'm a little slow today. I've been on the road for 2 days. I drove all the way from Iowa down to Oklahoma, bought this super truck that I'm gonna do another video on, got back home, unhitched the trailer, and drove over here. I'm running on empty. I'm about 15 monsters deep and 5 cups of coffee. Let's take a quick walk around and check it out. So the reason I like this car, I don't know if I'm actually going to keep it or if I'll fix it up, get it running and sell it. I know there's a lot of enthusiasts who really love this. I just think it's a cool car. It's kind of a bluish, metallic blue, silverish, I don't know, something like that, but really cool body lines. Somebody actually put Hurricane wheels on it. Those are not the originals. The body is in excellent shape other than there's a few spots here and there. There's some little rust and paint chips. But just based on when Jared and I stopped over and looked at this really fast before I made a deal, I don't think it's ever been repainted. I do think it's all original. As you can see, there's an enormous amount of dirt on it. Last time it was actually registered was 2014. We have not tried to do any type of starting on it yet. We just came over and looked at it. We just bought it like it is. Let's take a look under the hood so you can see. One thing that's really cool about these is just that giant cast iron block engine, which is really awesome. Know nothing really about these other than the little bit that I Googled. Know really nothing about it other than the fact that it has got an enormous amount of mouse sign. There is mouse stuff everywhere on this car, and quite frankly, if you could smell inside of it, this is without a doubt the strongest smelling, worst car I've ever been around in my life. Honestly, one of my biggest concerns is just getting all that smell and nastiness out of here. This one is actually just the 2-seater version, which my understanding from Googling is there was a 2+2. It does have the 5-speed manual, which is cool. It's my favorite to drive. It's missing the headliner, but it is actually here in the garage. It's just not installed. Never looked in the glove box to see what. Holy my
Somebody
God.
living in.
Holy cow, I hope they paid rent. That is disgusting. Oh my God, I'm gonna puke. Well, I think I know where the smell is coming from. TV timeout. Can't even talk without wanting to puke here. Gauges kind of wrap around. That's cool style. Other thing I thought was kind of neat on this car, like you can see 77,000 miles. The owner thought that might be original just based on the body. This fuel gauge is pretty cool. It's got E to F, and so your normal macro gauge on the top, but then it's got a micro gauge down at the bottom that shows 0 to 1/4, which I thought was kind of cool. Let's pop the trunk and take a peek in the back. 280ZX. Struts even work. Like there's been a few mice back here, huh?
Wow. Optional cup holders.
What's underneath here? I'm just waiting for like 1,500 mice to come jumping out. I'm just worried about all the electrical, not that I can't deal with it. So if anybody has electrical schematics or references out here, that'd be probably pretty awesome. Enough screwing around. So we'll put a battery in it. We need to get that cleaned out, throw some air in the tires just so we can look underneath of it a little bit better, and check the fluids, and then let's see what kind of electrical craziness happens once we get a battery in it, turn the key on.
Probably should have even tried it. I don't think I need the wrenches.
Brake fluid. Well, this is interesting. Looks like electrical floats on the brakes. Actually, 2 different reservoirs too. And both got fluid. I'm guessing this is probably the clutch down here.
Quick change battery. No tools required.
Were they completely loose?
loose, and this is the custom hold down.
Nice.
Good for 100,000 miles.
Oh man, look at all that insulation underneath of there. Yeah, they've been living down underneath that thing. Just looking at the clutch reservoir over here. She's bone dry. I think it takes just regular brake fluid. That's what we're gonna put in it because it's all we got. Little come and go brake fluid. Funniest name ever for a gas station. How many live mice do you think are gonna come out of this?
I don't know.
Oh, there's one. Right there. He took off. I don't think he's gonna stick around. The radiator's dry. He did mention somebody had replaced the radiator. Well, it took an entire gallon, but it got it up almost to the top. About a quart low, but at least it's got something in it. Looks like, oh, there's another one. Oh, get out of there.
Where the hell did he come from?
I don't know, that's number 2. There goes that mouse.
Well, that's one thing. You took everything out of the garage. You took all the houses out of the garage.
It's kind of cool air cleaner. Looks like it's got intakes just on one side. Comes through some kind of sensor, mass air, I guess. I thought this was cool too, that most everything is in Japanese as well as English. And looks like we got some in there too. This Milwaukee pack-out vac has sucked up more mouse crap out of this garage than anyone ever would have expected. Good tool. Probably put a respirator or something on with all this stuff. I should probably put some gloves on, messing with all this. Probably shouldn't be drinking a Monster in the middle of it either. 9/16, that'll get in there. I'll get it. I just saw our third visitor.
Oh, you did?
Where did he go? He was sitting right there.
What's this thing?
There we go. Before I sit in that thing and mess around, I'm gonna empty that nasty glove box out. Guess I feel obligated since this is my car that I do that. Huh?
I'll hold the bag.
Not sure if the bag's to throw up in or get this stuff out. Here goes nothing. So much for the operator's manual, huh? Holy cow, look at that. It's all that insulation from the garage. Oh, there's some plastic in the bottom. I don't think we're going to recover that, eh? I don't know how they were getting in there. It's amazing what they can fit through. Oh, there is so much mouse pee inside of that. There's a sheet down on the bottom. I don't know if it was like the original order codes or if it's just some random piece of paper. I think I found our battery hold downs.
Oh, those are the aftermarket.
It's got the original floor mats.
It's got Z's on the floor.
That's cool. I wonder what somebody would think if I showed up to an auto detailer with this thing.
Special project.
Special project price, I think. I don't think this guy made it.
Oh no.
He's been in there a while. So we just spent 15 minutes vacuuming this thing out and letting it air out. We're gonna key it on and see what happens. Jared's got the battery. Actually, you wanna crank the
connect it.
Little disconnect down. Let's see what, light works.
Check this out.
Something's beeping inside, so that's good. It says light and key. The off position, accessory. Oh, key to the on position. We got all of our lights coming on. I have no idea if these things have an electric fuel pump or mechanical or what. I don't hear anything. Oh, blower works. Looks like the voltage gauge works. A little clock. Wonder if it's on central time. Oh, the ignition switch. Look at that.
What's that?
Keys in the on position.
Oh.
Accessory. Off.
Something turned on under the hood. Blower here on the side of the engine draws in fresh air, comes up here and blows it out of these snorkels and down onto the manifold to do something.
And these look, they're electronic injectors of some type. Something on the fuel, keeping the fuel injectors chilled after they shut off or something. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that before. That's
maybe emissions related.
Yeah.
An attempt at emissions.
Looks like the fuel linkage is all free. Let's bump it and see if the engine even turns over. Oh yeah, I forgot when I climbed in here before, there's I don't know where the clutch pedal's at. It's covered up. Yeah, that clutch reservoir being empty.
Does it come back or does it stay on the floor?
It stays on the floor currently. We'll deal with that later. Let's see if it at least even bumps.
There's a fuel.
Something was running over there?
When you trigger the key, there's a fuel pump in the. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do hear something back there.
Something's building pressure.
No starty, but.
And I see a couple drips from the fuel line in the front.
Yeah, imagine that. Well,
the pump works.
Pump works. Starter's not going. Fan works. Yeah, let's go see what's
where we
going
got power.
I didn't even hear it clicking, did you?
Nope, no click. Got
ground's on
power, solenoid.
Main power's on it.
But
oh, there's your problem right there.
Let me see.
There's
yeah, coil.
Nothing on our coil.
Nothing on our coil.
I bet it's that wire right there. Yeah, that's why it's loosey-goosey. There's nothing to that. I bet that just fell off. Or mouse pulled it off.
There's a spade in there.
You want to crimp that back together? Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to use this. So I
see what you mean on top of the
I believe
fuel filter.
Our fuel pump is.
Ooh, it's actually moving.
It's moving because it's coming through the filter. Pressurized up here.
Good pressure.
It'd be interesting to see if it dripping anywhere else over there.
Comes through. This one must be the return line. I did bring some extra fuel line in case we blow stuff all over the place. You forgot to turn on your work light.
Oh. Here, with the
there you go.
The blower fan turned back on.
I wonder how long that runs if it's on some kind of a. I wouldn't imagine it's temp sense because the engine hasn't run and it's just in the off state.
That is on there, right there.
Okay. Well, that should do something. It's different. Let's go try it again and see how much fuel blows out. All right, that's key on. I'm gonna give it a bump. Oh yeah.
Spun freely. Yeah, it's moving. Not locked up.
Holy crap, did it start?
Oh, she started to run on varnish.
Was it running?
Yeah, it fired off.
I couldn't tell if I was holding the starter on it or not.
It's pretty sure it fired off. Yeah, it did.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's awesome. See any leaks or anything up here, which is good. I did accidentally bump this. All these lines are super brittle and dry. I don't know
and that goes down to this
what that is.
Contraption that I haven't quite figured out what it is yet.
Yeah, does anybody know what that is? Well, I can believe that it almost started. It's kind of the luck of this garage with the BMW and that El Camino.
Get some nasty gas out of it.
Yeah, I forgot to look when I keyed on and see if the fuel gauge works at all. The main gauge went down to E. The little needle's above a quarter, so I have no idea. They're moving, so maybe they'll work. Let's drain whatever we can get out of it.
What do you think? Siphon or try to pump it out? Well, it's like a siphon first.
Well, I guess it does have electric fuel pump, doesn't it? I don't know. If it's got a quarter tank in there, there's going to be 4 or 5 gallons. Let's try to
just suck it out of there.
Oh, it's got a key gasket.
Oh, it's locked. Factory locking gas cap.
If the gauge is right, there's really not that much in there anyways, and we might even be able to just dilute it. What was it saying? The solution to pollution
is dilution.
That's right. Oh. Smells rotten.
Yeah.
Can hear it, but it doesn't want to stay running. Maybe let's see if we can pop one of those clamps like at the fuel filter and see if we can just run some out there. Have you ever seen the JIS Phillips screw before? I was just looking to see if these are JIS. No, they're not. If you're not familiar with a JIS Phillips screw, if you ever look at a Phillips screw like this and it's got a dimple or a dot next to the cross, it's a JIS Phillips. and it uses a different screwdriver geometry or for the cross than a normal American Phillips. So if you ever see one with a dot on it, that's what it is. JIS is the Japanese industrial standard. So if you strip it out, that's probably why.
Oh yeah, it's got pressure.
It's got a lot of pressure. I imagine that fuel pump's probably pressure switched, at least I would imagine it is. Forgot our key was in the gas cap. When was the fuel crisis? Wasn't it in the 70s?
Oh.
The fuel shortage?
Sometime in the 70s.
Probably why they were locking them.
Ready.
That only ran before when we had the key on originally, didn't it? Yeah, pull that wire back off the starter. There, I'm key start position.
That's crank.
Yeah, that's crank position. That pump's running.
Little algae in there, or who knows what else. The amount of moisture in this garage.
It comes out pretty quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd stop it there.
3 gallons of gas out of it so far, pretty green stuff. One question I have is for people who are out there in the world that are Datsun people, what do you think this thing is worth? I know what I paid for it. I got a really good deal because I bought this whole garage. At least in my mind, I got a good deal. But in this type of condition, trying to get it running, you know, I didn't even put a battery in it to try it and bump it. I just bought it as is. What is something like this worth, and what are they worth if it's running, driving? It's, again, 280ZX, 2-seater, 5-speed. Really curious because probably going to sell this one eventually. I don't really need another car, and it was cool. I wanted to get it running. Do you see any chewed wires or anything?
The only one, I was looking at these fuel injectors, and right here where his king-size bed was, and that injector's got some exposed.
Is it chewed all the way through?
I don't think so.
Does it look like the wires are touching where it's going to short? And
it's hard to say. I can't quite see with bare eye.
kind of got them spread apart a little bit. I don't think they're touching it all. 5 gallons out, 5 gallons of fresh fuel. Try to start it and see what happens. Oh. No windshield wipers. Oh, that's the high beams, I think. Oh, yeah.
I still work.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here goes nothing. Oh, forgot to hook our solenoid back up.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to need that.
Actually, let's...
You want to prime it or go?
Yeah, let's prime it. Is there any fuel leaking anywhere?
No. All right. You want me to go ahead and...
Yeah, go ahead and put it back on.
It's on there. Is that a power mirror?
Yeah, it's working too. I'll be darned. Power driver side. Okay, enough screwing around. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Fired right off.
Listen to that thing.
Can't even hardly hear it.
Holy cow.
That blower fan quit running,
It stopped running.
I think.
He said this thing ran great before. I don't remember what the deal was, but he just parked it.
Didn't even smoke that bad.
Man, that thing purrs too.
I know.
No more mice came out, so that's good.
Should see if it's charging at all. Give it a little bit of throttle.
It's got 13.5.
13.9.
Oh yeah, he's charging.
How about that clutch?
Yeah, I was looking at
Go
that.
pump it right now.
Yeah, I mean it's pushing up and down, but it's not drawing in at all. Oh, got a mouse.
Another one?
Right there. Hold on, watch this.
Where was he at?
He was right there on top of the engine. I got him. That's number 4.
I can't believe he stayed in there. That tells you how smooth the car's running.
I had some pretty good distance. I almost hit the fence with that little guy. Threw him so far.
I'm impressed you fetched him off of the...
He looked awful scared. I feel kind of bad, but not really.
rubber line over to the...
I think I can get my arm down there.
I might even be able to reach it from underneath, honestly.
We can just barely see if we look right down through here where the master, or excuse me, the slave cylinder's at. There's a bleeder on it that I think I can get to through here and without burning myself too bad. The engine's not too hot yet.
Here's a 10 or an 11.
Yeah, give me a 10. It's probably a 10. It's a Japanese car.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Yep, that's it. Oh yeah, I got it loose. Heck yeah.
Loose.
Go ahead and pump it.
See if it'll
squirt anything out. Go on my command. Are you up?
Yep.
Okay, press. Up. Press. Up. When you push, barely anything comes out.
Okay.
I mean, it's not squirting like I would expect. It dribbles.
It should
squirt out. We got to use AI here. Let's ask Google Gemini. 1979 Datsun 280ZX clutch master cylinder.
The clutch master cylinder in a 1979 Datsun 280ZX is a key component of the hydraulic clutch system. When you press the clutch pedal, it pushes a piston inside.
She's so pleasant to talk to, so I know how it works. Can you find me a video of somebody replacing the Datsun clutch master cylinder?
Here are a few videos showing how to replace a clutch master cylinder on Datsun models, including one for a 280ZX. 1982 Datsun clutch master cylinder replacement from the Diesel Dock channel, linked to YouTube. 1973 Datsun 240Z clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder replacement from the Dick Shaw channel, linked to YouTube.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can assist you with regarding your Datsun 280ZX or any other topic?
No, but AI is fantastic.
I'm glad to hear that. It's a fascinating and rapidly evolving field. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Big thanks to Dick Shaw on YouTube. We watched your video and gave us a quick tutorial on how to get the clutch master cylinder out, 2 bolts and a pin. We're pretty certain that the clutch master cylinder is junk. I just called O'Reilly's, and where I usually get all my parts, and kind of a funny story. I told the young man who answered the phone, I said, I've got a Datsun 280ZX 1979. I need a clutch master cylinder. He's looking at his computer. I could tell he was kind of perplexed and confused, and he said, what model? What make? Who makes that? And I said, it's a Datsun 280ZX 1979. Who makes that? Datsun. I forget that we're dealing with like, what, a 50-year-old car here, and that was probably twice his age. I think he ended up looking it up under Nissan and was able to find it, but kind of funny, didn't know what a Datsun was. Hopefully he learned something. That clutch master cylinder is not supposed to be here till Friday, so we'll check the lights, see what we can do, and then I think we're gonna call it a night. Kind of interesting, the tach is at 5,000 RPM, 4,500. That's weird. Now it's dropped. Now it's dropped. Brake lights work.
let off.
Let's see, I don't know how to turn the lights on in this thing. There we go, parking lights. All the dash lights work.
That's the parking lights. Do your right and left again.
Left turn,
Yep.
right turn.
Yep. How about your headlights? You tried those before. Yep. You got most of the tail lights, at least something on each side.
Not sure what this, does anybody know what this switch is? What this switch is right here? I can see a little blue light turns on.
That's defogger.
Oh, I bet that's right. It's got like orange backlights, so those all work.
Fan comes on.
And it's infinite speed too, so must be just a rheostat in there. It's not positional. Lots of mouse pee. That smells bad. Cigarette lighter. Radio. Doesn't have a power antenna in the back. I don't think that went up.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh. There it goes. It had to.
It's got a switch to put the antenna up.
I hit it again. The first time it didn't want to go all the way up. Oh, it just needed a little help.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Even appropriate song too.
Classic rock. Overall, pretty good shape. Can't wait to drive this thing. Shifts through the gears. It's like it was meant to run. Feel like James Bond. Let's check the power steering fluid.
Oh yeah.
Does it even have power steering? I never even looked.
I do think it's got some sort of rack and pinion. About the windshield washer. It's trying. It's probably pumping it into the dash somewhere.
Probably is.
I can't believe all the dash lights light up.
Yeah, I know, and the dimmer
dim?
works too.
Yeah.
It still stinks, but getting that stuff out of the dash, all the difference in the world. They're leaking any fluids?
Nothing.
I think we had enough success for today. Here we are back with the Datsun. A couple days later, it's just me today. My brother had to take off to Canada for some work. I went to O'Reilly's and picked up a clutch master cylinder. So let's get the old one pulled out and get this one swapped in. Our clutch master sits right down here in front of the driver's door. Here's the replacement. There's just two bolts that hold it onto the firewall and this adjustable clevis. It's got a pin on the inside, so it's really easy to access and pull out. I'm gonna get in the car and bolt the other one, get this bolted in. We'll hopefully get that line off successfully. I did bring my line wrenches. It doesn't look too rusted. We sprayed it with some WD-40 before. This video is absolutely not sponsored by Monster, but it should be for the amount of these things I've drank in the past week. Got the old one out, got the new one ready to go in. Need to set my clevis length here and then stick the new one back in. Got the pedal hooked up inside, get it all tightened back down. I'm gonna throw just a little fluid in it and pump that pedal, get it just a little bit of bench bleed. Moment of truth, got everything hooked back up, pump the pedal, and hopefully it'll start to get hard. Oh yeah, got some feel to it now. Heck yeah, that was it. Gonna need a second person to bleed this thing out. There's a little bit of slop at the top half of the pedal, maybe the top third, but I definitely have pedal stroke now, so hopefully I can get the clutch out. So now we've actually got just a little bit of clutch feel, which we had nothing before, no return. It definitely needs to be bled, but we're gonna take a look and see if we can at least make it creep forward and it'll throw it out far enough. Forgot our disconnect. So clutch out, I can't get past the synchro into gear, clutch in. I can actually get in. Let's see if it'll move. Yeah. Always sensitive to go in reverse in a garage, but here we go in reverse. Looks like we got it. Let's get this thing out of the garage. First things first. I got a tin snip, so it's close enough, right? This thing has not seen the light of day in 10 years until right now. How cool is that, huh? Barn find, Datsun 1979 280ZX. Awesome. Oh shit. Oh shit. Came back here to grab the car, thought I smelled fuel, and there was fuel pouring out of the front side of the engine. So we got a line or something that must have blown off. Let's take a look quick before we blow this bad boy up. Ooh, there's our problem, blowing fuel. Pinhole in the line. Get a rag on that so it quits squirting all over the place. Just so it doesn't get on anything hot like an exhaust manifold. I had intentionally brought a few pieces of random fuel line along. I think this is a 5/16-ish. It'd be good enough to pinch down and get us going, I think. Did I mention it is ridiculously hot out today? I am sweating like you wouldn't believe. I think I brought my handy tree trimmer along. Well, I'm glad this happened while we were parked here at the house and not driving down the road. We'll worry about that return line later, I think. Don't believe I have enough hose. Take number 2. Let's try this again. And the brakes even work a little bit. This hose is one of the more uneventful things I've done this week. I will say my daughter is never impressed with the cars that I bring home, i.e. super truck, yet to come. You'll see that in future episodes. but they're not for everybody. My son, on the other hand, thinks I'm pretty cool. I do notice that that blower over the top of the engine is still running yet today. So if anybody could tell me, is that supposed to run only to a certain temp switch? Oh, water leak all over my camera. See if the windshield wipers, oh yeah, look at that. So I literally have the camera propped up over here on that glove box door that's hanging down where all the mouse pee and stuff was, so hopefully it doesn't fall while I'm driving. Let's give this baby a rip and see what breaks. Hopefully the brakes work. All right, slingshot engage. I'll tell you, there's pretty much not an ounce of shocks on this thing. That's pretty rough. 10 years and we're back on the road. This is a dang cool feeling when you can take something like this, hasn't been running in forever, and here we are. Probably should have called my insurance agent before we took this thing out on the road, but oh well. Some college kids looking at me, wondering what a cool car looks like. And it does shift pretty good. There, it just went into second. Let's take it down to first. Yeah, like a dream. So running and driving Datsun 1979 280ZX. What do you think it's worth? What do you think it's worth when I bought it? And what do you think it's worth now? And we're back with 100% new clothes that are 100% dry because the other ones were 100% drenched with sweat. I have enough confidence I'm gonna try this, drive this baby home. I'm gonna dump some seafoam in the gas and in the engine first to try to get the engine cleaned up because I'll end up changing the oil here very soon and see if we can drive 20 miles home with no problems. So the seafoam rate is 1 ounce per quart, and we're just gonna give it the old college alcohol shot guess here. I don't know, that's probably good. No power steering. Next stop, gas station. Hopefully dilute any of that nastiness that was in there. Put some seafoam in it. Point towards home. I feel like driving like Ace Ventura with my head out the window. It is that pungent in here. It is god-awful strong. But I tell you what, I'm laughing because 3 cars out of the same garage. I'm still driving 2 of them. This one I'm on the fence. Should I keep it? Should I sell it? I don't know. I know my son Wyatt wants to go for some rides, thinks it's pretty cool. The brakes work, but I can definitely feel it pulling, so I only think maybe a couple of them are working. 9 gallons of 93 octane super juice. Missed 3rd gear. You know, I never did look to see if these things have all 4 disc brakes. I didn't pay any attention to it. I just knew that they worked here to start and get us home. I can definitely get behind why people like these cars. They're just kind of cool, right? You feel sporty. The gauges are all pointing at me. No kids in the back seat because there is no back seat. I like it. Just doing a quick check on our speedometer, turned on Google Maps. It looks like it's maybe 4 miles per hour off. Gauge shows I'm doing 65. Google says I'm doing 61. The tach is saying right at about 2200 RPMs. When we first started this thing up and got it running, the tach was doing some really funky things, so I don't know what all happened there, so we'll keep an eye on that. Heck, check this out. I forgot to look in the console. Some brake hands. They actually fit pretty good. I like it. Probably should have looked in there before I started driving it. I would have scared the life out of me if I flipped that open and a mouse came crawling out. That's the last thing I need right now. The other fun thing I just found in here, I don't know if any of you guys remember these things. This car's got a cassette player in it. And for any young kids, this is a cassette that you can plug into, back in our day, a CD player. and then you could play your CDs from your CD player into your tape deck, or in our case, we'll plug that into our phone and stick that into the cassette player, and then we can play our Spotify. Well, that right there is total vintage. Ironically, these glasses fit really well. I got a funny shaped nose and I like them. I think they look great. Home sweet home. 20 miles, we made it. Let's give this thing a proper bath, see what it looks like. More than an hour later, washing this thing 2 or 3 times to make sure I really got it, flushing all the little crevices out. The body really seems like it's in pretty good shape, and I'm 99% certain that it is original, which is awesome. Again, if you know anything about Datsuns and see things that I don't, let me know in the comments below, because I'm new to them. I did find a web page that had, I think, the entire service manual, but tell me what to check. Finally back out in the garage with the 79 Datsun to do some more work on it. After I got it washed up, it's been sitting here for about a week. My kids had their last week of summer break before school starts, so all kinds of back to school stuff and football starting, and my daughter made me buy 2 goats. This is Felix and this is Bosco. They're Nigerian dwarfs. Intermittently, I had been working on this just a little bit, and what I've really been focused on is getting all the carpets and trim panels out so that it's actually survivable to sit in here. And I am gonna have to get the dash out, I think, so I can get the blower out. I did actually catch 2 more mice. I was down here pulling the seats out. Underneath of the seats was an absolute horrendous mess on both sides. And while doing so, one came out of right there underneath the floor, and I tried to grab him and I missed him. So dropped some traps down. I used peanut butter, worked great. I caught 2 of them, and I haven't caught any more since. Something else that was fascinating that I found during the process was the spare tire actually has this original tire inflator. Now, I've seen in modern cars where they get rid of a spare tire and have slime, but in this case, they still have a regular spare tire, and then this can of tire inflator, which is still full. It's so cool that this is still around. Today's goal, I'm going to grab those last 2 carpet pieces out. They are loose and free. Take them outside, get things washed up, and then I'm going to jump up to the engine after I get the interior kind of dealt with and start going through vacuum lines and electrical lines. I did only find actually a couple wires that were chewed in here. It's actually the speaker wires of all things that were chewed. Other than that, I've been super lucky. No other gremlin electrical issues from chewed wires, so we'll keep investigating. The carpets have come out pretty easily. One thing that I found interesting is the carpets are several pieces in this car. So there's a passenger side, a driver's side, there's a piece right here behind the seats, there's a piece that goes up on the top, and then the very back. Also kind of interesting, actually the passenger and driver's side is held together by Velcro straps across the 2. So it's been really easy to take it out. Every time I move something, more mouse stuff falls down. Looks like they were eating sunflower seeds down here. Really none of the wires have been chewed on. There's maybe a few right there. Oh, no, just dirty. But even up through the firewall, things look good. The only thing I've really found is right here is where the rear speakers are. They had some nests inside of these cubbies, and these are chewed up significantly, which now makes sense why the radio wouldn't work right. A little bit under the driver's seat with that connector, which wasn't actually connected, so I'm unsure what that one does. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. Next thing I'm going to try with these carpets, I've always wanted one of these, and this was finally an excuse to buy it. So this is a detailing turbo gun, so when air runs through it, if you can see that very well, the nozzle spins around really fast and creates a very violent, turbulent air situation. This one happens to be the, I think they call it the Ultra Air 2 by the Rag company. I've always wanted one, and this is a great example of where I can use it to knock all that debris loose. I will throw links down below in the description to all the random things I'm using. These are all my tools. I buy them all, but I'll drop Amazon affiliate links if you want to go look at them, see what it is that I use at my own house. So I did put a respirator on to protect myself from who knows what. I believe it's called hantavirus. I don't want to kill myself in the process of getting a cheap Datsun back up and running. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably my favorite tool that I've bought in the last year, if not two. This was the carpet from the passenger side, which the biggest nest was underneath of that seat. The amount of stuff that I've blown out of here to where it still has some smell, but I've at least gotten the bulk of all that stuff out. So now when I wash it, we're just trying to kind of get rid of that last little bit of mouse enzyme that's embedded in the carpet. I'm already thinking how I can take and put like a shroud around this, hooked to my shop vac for my regular car. So when I'm not outside and I don't have the ability to blow this stuff away, we'll put them in here with some mystery soap mess and we'll see how much we can get it clean. But yeah, as I'm going across these, wow, look at the yellowish, nasty dirt and mouse urine and all that stuff that's coming out. So these carpets have just been soaking for about 10-15 minutes, and that's all the dirt and grossness that came out of them already. Think about that the next time you pick something up off the floor and eat it. I'm going to stick the hose in, just turn it on, and just let it constant flush to flush as much stuff out as possible, and then I'll dump some soap in. Here's where we're at. We've got our witch's brew soaking with our carpets. I ended up putting them in 2 tubs just to make it a little easier. So what did I put in the tubs? I actually just ended up using some laundry soap, and then I had bought some OxyClean that has the odor blaster. I think it's just sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. Trying to loosen up and break down some of the enzymes of that mouse urine. Bit of work on the right side trims first so I don't get them mixed up, and wash them in my bath, rinse them off, let them dry, and got some seats to work on over there. I'm probably going to let those soak for a couple hours, and then I'll probably swap the water out, do it one more time, and then do a couple good rinses. Hard plastics are clean. Now I want you to check this out. How disgusting this is. This has been sitting now for about 1 hour. That's just the first soap rinse. 4.5 hours later, I finally got all the carpets clean and got all those hard plastics clean. I actually got the seats wiped down real good. I sprayed them with that anti-icky poo. I even blew the knees out of both legs of my jeans. I was working so hard. Gonna do some final cleaning inside the car and call it good for the night. I'll pick up with the dash and other things another day. Next up, we're gonna try to get the dash out. I know watching people on the internet, they take the steering wheel off first so that you can get the dash over the top. I did go find a puller, and I was able to find some metric bolts random that I had laying around. Bolts I found are just barely long enough. I can get a couple threads in them, so hopefully that is going to be good enough. Just tightening those bolts down actually popped it loose. It wasn't too terribly tight. I probably should have marked those splines on there before I pulled it, but it's all right. We'll deal with it. Those back on so we don't lose them. So I'm not sure exactly where all the bolts are for the dash. I know there's a couple underneath and a few across the top. I'm just going to loosen them up till we can get it loose and feel like we pull it out, and we'll find the ones we're missing. There's already all kinds of crap falling out from underneath the dash. This is going to be interesting pulling this out. So as I take stuff like this apart, I always just take simple Ziploc bags, Sharpie, write on them where the hardware came from. It'll get me 90% of the way there, and the other 10% I can figure out because there's so little left. We're just waiting for an enormous nest to come falling down out of here and a dozen or more mice. I did catch another one, so I'm up to 3 now that I've caught since I came home, including the 4 that were in the car when we got it started, so we're up to 7. Song Kansas, Dust in the Wind just came on the radio. Makes me think of my TikTok buddy, the Dust Bowl Farmer. If you haven't seen him on TikTok, check him out. Absolutely hilarious. Maybe that bezel has to come out, I bet. So one of the main reasons I'm pulling this dash is I can see one of the main places where they came in is through the fresh air intake. When I would briefly turn on the blower, I could hear all kinds of mouse poop and stuff in the blower. Oh, maybe it's the ductwork. So there's a piece of ductwork right here. There's a mouse right there. Couldn't get my hands on him, but it looked like he was missing his front legs. He was like hopping from the backside. I got a bunch of traps out. We'll get him. I know I have to undo the speedometer cable is one of the last things. With the gauges and stuff, I unhooked 3 main big connectors down here, so hopefully that's all the electrical, and it's just that speedometer cable. Oh, there we go. That was easy enough. Just a quarter turn, actually. That's pretty handy. I've got the whole passenger side free. Something on the driver's side that's definitely just kind of hanging me up. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the steering column down a little bit. That's one thing that I saw a couple guys do, and they said it made the world a difference, and I think I understand why. Oh, yeah. All the difference in the world. Come on. There we go. There we go, success. There's all kinds of debris back here behind this thing. While I'm at it, I can check all the bulbs. It does have a printed circuit board or PCB. So this is right where the air intake comes in from the outside, and I was messing around with this little diaphragm, kind of checking it out. I pushed this in, and it opened the outside air damper, and I heard about 10 million little mouse pellets drop down in the fan. 2 screws on the bottom. Any bets on how many mice come out of this thing? That's interesting, and all the other hardware has been metric, but 3 lines on the bolt head looks to be an American. Oh God, look at that. Here's the air intake. See how the fan's completely full of debris. There's the, I think that's the heater core actually. I think the AC is over here. I'm completely full down there. I try to, again, look through this with my bore scope. The less I can disassemble, the better. Just snake down through the ductwork and just see what it looks like in the back before I do any more disassembly. Well, I got the fan apart and I figured out why it wouldn't run right. 1, 2, completely decayed. And look at this poor guy. I don't think that's how he had planned on ending his life. Getting all the stuff out of the intake that goes down into the blower fan, and I thought this was pretty funny. Here's your cab air filter on a 1979 Datsun. Interestingly, it's perfect condition, stainless steel mesh, but that's all that protects stuff from getting into the air intake, which is right here, and then there's a water drain that goes down the front. And this is impressive too, whatever this adhesive is that they have used to stick this on 45, 50 years ago, still pliable, it's not cracked. Pretty impressive. I'm frankly tired of working on the interior. Most of the way done, had the dash out, etc. Been cleaning all kinds of things, and I just kind of need a break for the amount of time that I have tonight. So we're going to focus on more of the mechanical things. I've got a fuel filter we need to put in. I'd been running the engine a couple hours today, just sitting here idling, revving it up, letting that oil and seafoam roll around through the engine. So we're going to change the oil. I've got an oil filter and some new synthetic oil. I also kind of looking into this vacuum boot that comes just after this metering device here, whatever this is, I'm not sure, like a massive airflow sensor. This boot right here has a whole bunch of cracks in it. I'm not exactly sure how to deal with that. That's what we're going to work on for tonight. Got the oil draining, went ahead and took a little sample of it. While that's draining though, let's get the fuel filter swapped out, and also I've got some extra 5/16 hose. I can now swap out the return line as well as the supply line to the filter. Now this car does use a copper crush washer on the oil pan plug, and this thing was on there with about 8 ugga-duggas, but we'll get that pulled off, put a new one in, old filter out, new filter ready to go back in. It's always a good idea to mark them with the mileage and the date. I always put it as well in 2 spots, that way when you're cranking it back on, if one gets rubbed off, nice and hand tight, that's all you need. I am running a 5W30 instead of the typical 10W30 that I think these call for, because this is what my BMW uses and it's what I have in my El Camino, so I'm trying to keep everything the same. It'll be just fine. Next, I'm going to swap out this piece of fuel line for the return. This is all 5/16 line from what I can tell, so I also have a 5/16 bolt here, so if I need to plug something off, I can shove that in, or worst case, put a vice grips around it and clamp it off. Telling you, ratcheting screwdrivers, that's where it's at. Now when we go to drop this in, we do need to make sure that the flow is in the proper direction. This one, just with the shape of it natively, you can't really get it in there the wrong way, but it's not abnormal to get a fuel filter in backwards, and it may not flow the proper amount and cause other issues, so always double check flow. Put that bolt in, minimize how much fuel's leaked all over. All right, fuel filter's changed. Let's go on to the next thing. Look at those Teeny tiny little rotors. Rotor is actually in pretty good shape just visually. It's not abnormally thin. It spins well. If I get the caliper popped off, I'll probably pop the hub off just to check the bearing. Might as well grease it as long as I'm this far in. I think we'll get in and work on that clutch slave cylinder first and then deal with the brakes. Got my custom self bleeder hung up under the car. Hose is connected up to the bleed fitting. I've already got the fitting cracked loose. The bottom of the hose is just down in some clean fluid, so when I pump on the clutch, it'll blow out air bubbles and get that old fluid pushed through and push in and out. Push in. I am watching the reservoir up here. I did fill it up before I started pumping to make sure that we don't run it dry and blow air back into the system. We'll tighten up our bleeder and then go back up and double check and make sure we've got a stiff pedal. Got both the front brakes bled. That went really successfully. The bearings seem to be in really good shape. There's no noise or anything. As long as I'm this far in, I was gonna go ahead and grease them up. I thought this was interesting. I pulled the cap and was expecting a traditional castle nut. And it's got this really unique, what I think is a nut. Oh, so it's actually just a castle cap over the top of a traditional nut. I've never seen anything like that before. Stamped sheet metal. That's pretty slick. The outer bearing appears to be in very good shape. The inner bearing, I'm actually not going to pull because I don't want to pull the oil seal. I don't have a replacement one. Holy cow. Really hard 40-year-old Play-Doh. When I go to repack a bearing I leave in the housing with the seal in it, I'll take my grease gun and just shoot in as much as I can here on this inner rim, and then I'll fill in on the inside and I'll use my finger to pull up and it'll force it up through those rollers, and I'll spin it around, keep pulling, and you'll be able to see grease coming out through the top. I'm just kind of forcing it up through the rollers. Every time I pull that bearing up, it kind of pushes up against the seal and jams that new grease down inside. There we go, that's in good shape. Fill the center cavity so there's plenty of grease in there to move around when it heats up. Now we'll take and hand pack the outside bearing. I don't have a bearing packer, I don't do enough of them, so I just put a pile in my hand and I take that bearing and I push the rollers down into it, both on the sides and in particular on the ends, and that will really help to make sure that they get packed. And then I'll take and start scraping it against my hand, and it forces it down the rollers. You can't just put it on the outside, you have to pack the insides. Probably good for my skin too, huh? Well-packed bearing. Another night back out in the garage, back to the interior, back to the mouse smell. A couple things I've been working on. One, throughout the day, I finally got more of this, again, I've been mentioning a couple times, this anti-icky poo stuff. I use it for cat urine, mouse urine. It's a anti-enzyme type product. Just put it in a spray bottle, spray it all over. So this front of the car here, especially where the frame is for the dash, I've been spraying it lightly throughout the day when I was working from home, 2, 3, 4 times, let it dry. Improves the smell, spray it again. Keep breaking down more and more of that urine. I bet I've used 3/4 of a gallon in this car in total so far. So I'd mentioned I'd look down inside the center air box with my inspection scope. It took me about 20 years before I finally bought one of these, and I find all kinds of uses for it. This is one of the Tuslong brand, nothing too fancy, middle of the road. It does have dual camera and adjustment, so it's super nice when I go to be able to stick down in, for example, this air box, and I can take and tilt the camera, and then also it's got a side view on it, so I can take and change. If you can't get it rotated properly, you can switch and get onto that side view camera to be able to get in and see that coil, which I can just barely see right there. And like I mentioned, it's dusty from historical use, but there's no mouse droppings or anything inside the air box. There's a little bit of foam gasket, but nothing that I'm too worried about. So as I mentioned before, all this stuff, these are my own tools, non-sponsored, but I'll drop Amazon links down below in the description just in case you want to check them out. So what I'm gonna do, I've been working on vacuuming out the bottom of this AC box. It's hard to see, did have a bunch of mouse droppings. It's very small. I couldn't get my regular vacuum in it, so I just took a piece of, I don't know, 3/8 fuel line, duct taped it to the end of my nozzle, so I made a little small small nozzle that I could get inside there with my blowgun and got it all cleaned out. And I did double check, make sure that the drain hose is attached and is free and clear. So what I'm going to do is back the car outside and put just a little bit of water in there first to make sure that I don't have any leaks, and then kind of rinse that out lightly. Then I'll use some simple green to try to get it clean, the coil itself, and flush out as much of that urine and smell stuff as possible. And then eventually I'll coat it down with the anti-icky poo. But here's my drain line down here, and I did add a clamp onto it. It did not originally have a clamp. I want to make sure that stays snug on there. And before I get too nuclear with this thing, I'm actually just going to take a little bit of water and pour in that box. And I want to make sure that there's no leaks anywhere. It is coming out a little bit slowly. There's some sitting down in there. I do know that the hose is clean. I took it off, blew it out. It doesn't look like it's leaking. Here goes nothing with the hose. I do have it set on kind of a flat fan, and I checked how much was going to come out of it out here on the driveway. Turn it on a little bit, give it a little rinse. And then I'm going to pause and let it drain out so we don't get too much in there at one time. Had to improvise just a little bit. I could not get, my light just died. I could not get that hose to drain effectively, so I figured there was something blocking the outlet. So I found a bucket that had kind of a long nose on it, stuck it up underneath, pulled the drain line off, and it was barely dripping out. Put a little screwdriver up inside of the drain port, and all kinds of gross debris came out. Just have to be careful that I don't make a mess inside the car. This is the last of the mouse smell, and we can start putting this thing back together. After probably 20 hours of cleaning on this thing, the time's finally come, starting to reassemble, and it's a great feeling. Let me show you where I'm at. Earlier today, I had both these panels out and did the final cleaning, got them all put back in, started to put some Armor All on it, which is what I still use for cleaning and trying to condition some of the plastics and vinyl. Up here in the dash, I've got the blower fan assembly back in. All this stuff is clean, including the evaporator. I bet I flushed that 50 times. Had to create some new seals here for the air box, both at the top and the side. Just took some foam I had and ended up super gluing it on because I didn't have any double-sided tape. So my next step is getting the dash back in, but before we do that, as long as I have it out, one of the things I am going to do is all of the lights that are backlighting for the dash and the gauges over here are just these little instrument bulbs. Some of them are colored and some of them are just traditional white. I'm going to replace those with LEDs. Instead of orange, I'm going to replace with blue, and then the whites I'll just replace with white. I had gotten these from an online supplier, superbrightleds.com. I saw somebody else referenced them. On these panels, all of them that are colored are actually marked with a paint marker from the factory originally, so that's kind of nice. I can tell real quick when I counted them up. So we'll go ahead and swap out the colored bulbs. These are kind of neat. They just have an orange sleeve over the top of the bulb to give that orange look on the dash. I do think these have polarity, so I'm going to have to pay attention when I plug the dash back in before I fully install it, make sure all these are actually working. Next, we'll start putting the whites back in. I did notice there was one light that was missing, so superbrightleds.com, they did have these inserts that the bulbs go into, so we'll be able to get that swapped out. Having a difficult time getting that new insert to fit. It seems to be a little wider once the bulb gets pushed down in. If I don't have the bulb in, I can insert it, but once the bulb goes in, it's a little bit too wide on the notches. So just took a file and filed down the sides a little bit, and now she snaps right into place. Also swapping out the glove box light. Now, the reason I was pointing this out is this one, the wire was completely chewed through, and I'm going to start counting all the different wires that I have to repair on this. I didn't find a whole lot when I was first cleaning, but the deeper I got into it, there's a lot that have the insulation taken off, or a few cases like this one, the wire was chewed through, so I had to do some repair. The door switches for both the driver's and passenger door, I fixed those earlier today. So I'll do a total count and see if I can figure out how many different wires I have to fix. Well, after 3 weeks and lots of miscellaneous times coming out here, the Datsun is finally done. At least done to the point where we can make it be a nice, reliable, drivable car that I feel comfortable taking my kids in without getting them sick from hantavirus or whatever you get from mouse droppings. Under the hood, we got all kinds of things taken care of, including some vacuum leaks that were fixed. In particular, those main boots over there, I ended up dealing with them using some Permatex black silicone adhesive sealant. Worked real good. Actually, only replaced a couple of the vacuum lines to start with, oil, fuel filter. The interior, though, is the grand champion. And I've got it all cleaned up, put back together, ozoned it several times after I cleaned it. It is really cleaned up nice. Got the carpets back in. Have to put my caps back on. Thinking about replacing the shocks and the struts, but for now we're just going to drive it. But let me show you the one last cool feature that I hadn't shown you yet. If you remember, inside of the console when I was driving it, I found that pair of sunglasses, but now what's in here is even more important things. Cell phone and cassette tapes. My favorite and most important, Motley Crue. For all of you kids out there who are watching this that don't understand what a tape deck is, check this out. I'm driving the Datsun to go pick my daughter up from work, and I can't wait to see the expression on her face when, one, I pull up in this car because it's not her favorite, and number two, when I'm playing Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. She's gonna love this. Just got Riley picked up from work, and I'm gonna show her what an old Datsun 280ZX can do. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. All right. We need a turbo. This has been really fun. We're going to drive this for a while, probably end up selling it. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate it. I learned a lot, and I hope you learned with me. So thanks for checking in. Stay curious, friends.